prehistoric creature would have this kind of relationship with a person, but Curly here is one of our favorites. And who can identify what Curly is? What do you think he is? Yeah, buddy. He's an alligator, right? Now, alligators, again, like we said, believe it or not, we have alligators within. They pretty much are invisible in their natural habitat. You'll never see an alligator will see you far longer or with much more quickly than you'll ever see him, and that is what's made them so successful. Is they basically sit and hide, a little cantankerous, kind of a Napoleon complex, just like me. And I'll tell you what, this little animal here, native right here to our own United States, we don't really find them as far east as we are here in New York, but across the Midwest and down south, this guy's gotten quite a reputation for being one of the most ferocious animals in the world, and only about a 40-pound package. My best analogy is that this little guy here is a 800-pound grizzly bear in a 40-pound package. Now, who can identify this guy? Anyone know? Yeah.
Hey, honey badger.
That's a badger. You're absolutely right. And what do you think, Grant? How long have you... Now, what is her name again?
Stella.
This is Stella. Bizarre island called Madagascar. And what is when you think of Madagascar, what animal do you think of? A lemur, right? Now, lemurs are amazing creatures. Again, they're very similar to us. They are primates just like us, but an animal that really looks like it's a mix of everything else. So there's about 40 different types of lemurs that range from a sifaka that stands about this tall to little mouse lemurs that will fit in the palm of your hand. But the majority of the lemurs found in Madagascar are about this size. They're very cat-like. Grant's holding one of my favorites. Now, looking at this owl, yep, she's got the big eyes. She has a beautiful camouflage for pretty much, that comes in handy during the day so she can sleep in a tree and be virtually invisible. But unlike some of the owls that we have here in New York State, she's quite a bit bigger, isn't she? This is quite a large owl. This is actually the largest of all owl species. She's called the eagle owl. And the eagle owls, and she's found, this is a Eurasian eagle owl, can make up for it with the ability to give you a pretty deadly hug if he wanted to. And this is great. David's holding one of my favorite snakes. He's a big constrictor. And what's the most famous constrictor that we know?
Boa.
The boa constrictor, right. And even though they're called a boa constrictor, that's the last place you want to hang one of these guys is around your neck. So you notice that our friend the boa constrictor right here is pretty comfortable. David is making sure that he keeps that head and that tail as far apart as possible because a snake like this would use that to definitely help subdue its prey. Now everyone seems pretty excited, David. Why don't you take a walk down the aisle here? There we go. Everyone can get a good look. I like when everyone kind of darts out of the way when this guy comes through. And you notice, stay away from predators, but to hide from their prey. So a snake like this would hang out in the top of a tree in the South American rainforest, waiting for a bird or a mouse or even a small monkey to cruise by, and just out of nowhere he would strike out very quickly. And their teeth aren't very long. She just has quite a few of them. She has almost 100 teeth in her mouth. There she is. She found herself a nice high place to sit. I know, and it's like when I look at this guy, it's like I'm looking directly into a mirror sometimes. Not Grant, the other guy. But so this little guy this is our buddy the baboon. And what's her name, Grant? Oh, this is Ozzy. I met Ozzy before. Yeah, Ozzy is a little baby baboon, and again, he's small now, but he will get quite big. A baboon, he's an olive baboon. There we go. And like I said, baboons, just like us and just like any little kid, they like to have fun and they're always learning. Now a baboon, when you look into his eyes, there's a lot going on. They're very intelligent little monkeys. And again, they love getting into trouble. And of course, he has this little baboon stuffed animal that he likes to throw around. There we go. And all the times that I've seen these guys, they act just like they do in the wild, as they do right here at the sportsman show, because they like to have fun as much as we do, and their minds are always working. And again, the more trouble they can get into, the better. We've been to places in Africa that trooper. think to yourself, you might see a coyote like this in a glimpse. Like maybe there might be a little tuft of hair, you might see a tail, or you might even be fortunate enough to see one maybe cruising around your backyard or even in the woods. But to see one this close is a really amazing opportunity. Now, little Trooper here, he lives not too far from here. He was raised at an organization called the Wildlife Defenders. And Trooper came to us when he was very, very small as a little puppy. And what's amazing is he bonded with people so well, which is unusual for a coyote. Typically, these guys are, as they get older, they're kind of solitary that you've ever seen. And hopefully, and what do you think? Again, much like that lemur, he looks like an animal that was created in a laboratory. He looks like a mix between all different types of animals. What do you guys think? Is he a raccoon? Nope. Is he what is he? Is he a wolverine? No, look at him. He is, because they would know what he is. He's a bear cat. You're absolutely right. Also called a binturong, and binturongs are native to Southeast Asia. And believe it or not, they're not related to a cat, or a bear, or a raccoon, or any of these other animals. They're actually one of the largest members of the mongoose family. And this little guy here, what's his name again, Grant? This is Boomer. And look at Grant. You can tell that he's been dealing with Boomer for quite a long time, because Boomer, believe it or not, is only a youngster himself. He's only a few months old, and when he gets full size, he will be almost 70 pounds, and he will look like pretty much like, I think, one of the nation's favorite animals, because they pretty much live the life that we all want to do. I think everyone asks what my favorite hobby is when I'm not traveling or working with animals. My favorite thing to do is to do nothing. I like to sit and watch TV. And this little guy here lives the life. And what animal have to go to the bathroom once a week? So she's actually a nice animal to take care of, because as long as you feed her every day, you only have to clean her once a week. But again, she's a two-toed sloth. That means she has those two large claws in the front that she uses pretty much to hang by, or to help if she needs to climb from one tree to the next. Kangaroo, and there she is. There we go, and we'll set her down, and John's holding on to her pretty tightly, because Ingrid here is pretty powerful for a little animal. She's a gray kangaroo. She's full grown, but even though she looks kind of little, she's extremely powerful. She can leap 8 feet straight up in the air. She has a horizontal leap of almost 12 feet, and she can kick as hard as a Clydesdale horse. So she's pretty much a spring-loaded animal as you can get.